Hey guys, this is Jeff with Expedition Essentials. Today we're going to give you a quick run through on installing the Chevy Colorado GMC Canyon powered accessory mount, otherwise known as the CPAM. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to take the main body or the base of the mount and set it inside your dash pocket. And you'll feel it center itself in here. And that way, you know, it's not going to move. It's centered in the pocket. And we're going to go ahead and mark the holes inside. There's 2 holes that you're going to drill with the 3/16 drill bit. You go ahead and mark the 2 holes. And then the center hole for the wiring, there's a notch. You're just going to sketch out that notch. Alright, so next step, pull the mount back off. You've already marked the holes. And you're going to use a plastic trim tool to pop this guy off. It's just held in with clips. Alright, let's set this aside right now because you're going to need it here in a second. Then you're going to take these 2 7mm screws off the top. I've already removed most of them. We're just showing you how to do this, so you guys know. And then you're going to take these 2 spacers that come with your hardware kit, and you're going to put them here at the top where your top 2 holes are, and install this lower mounting bracket at the top. And we're doing this so that I can show you where you have to notch your trim bezel for it to fit over this bracket. This is your inner support and an important part of the dash mount. Once you have that snugged up, you take your trim bezel and you're going to place it back over where the dash is, and you can see here, normally what you would do, you wouldn't already have these notched. I've already previously done it, but you're going to mark with your Sharpie where you have to notch your bezel so it provides clearance so it fits over this bracket. And it's roughly 1/4 inch is all you need. You're going to trim that with the Dremel tool, which I found to be the easiest. You're just going to trim this plastic and do a clearance check to make sure that it fits over. And after you get that done, after you get that part done, pull your bezel back off and we'll show you how to do the rest. Alright, so we've already marked and trimmed our bezel and pulled our bracket back off. Now we're going to go ahead and remove our radio. Pull the other 2 7mm screws out. And pull the radio out, which is held in with plastic clips in addition to the screws. And I've already disconnected the harness, but there's plugs here to remove it all the way. Just remove it and set it to the side. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out this lower control panel using your pry tool again, and it just has plastic clips in there. That guy comes out, and you don't really have to disconnect it, just set it to the side. And we're going to go ahead and remove this lower panel as well. This is to wire up your USB charger. This guy uses 2 7mm screws as well. and pull your panel out. also has a plastic clip. And if you zoom in here, you can see now you have access to the back of your cigarette lighter, and that's where we're going to tap into using posi taps for your USB outlet. Alright, so your next step is to drill out the 3 holes for your mount, 2 for the screws that go through, and then 1 for the harness. You're going to take a 3/16 drill bit, drill out your 2 holes, being careful not to go too far through to damage any wires or electronic components. And then you're going to switch this drill bit out for a 3/8 for your center hole for your wiring to pass through. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do after we've removed or pulled this panel out is I'm going to show you guys how to use these posi taps to wire your USB. And I've already done this in this truck, so I've got this pigtail harness here just to show you what we're doing here. And posi taps are these little barrel plastic connectors that we're using, and they're really easy to use. So what you're going to do is you're going to unthread the black end of the posi tap, and you can see it's got a little ears here. And you're going to take these ears and put it around the wire for the connector of the cigarette lighter. Now, to note, the purple wire on these is positive and the other one is negative. So you're going to slide this over the purple wire first, and then you're going to take the end with the needle, and once this is over the wire, you're going to just thread it back into the barrel, and that creates a connection. Now the other end, you're just going to want to loosen it up and take the end of our harness after you've stripped back a little wire to have some loose strands, and you're just going to insert it into the end of this barrel. You don't need to take it all the way off. Insert it into the end and then tighten the red screw right back up, and that creates your connection just like that. Really easy to use. You're going to do this for the red wire and the black wire, which is the purple is positive and the other one is negative down here. And after you get that done, this is a little more challenging part. You're gonna have to feed this harness all the way from down here up behind. Now it's kind of a pain, but you can get it behind everything. I found that removing this unit here, which is just held down with a plastic clip, I pulled this out. That gave me a little more access back here, but we fished it all the way down through behind all this plastic, and you bring it to the top up here. And after you get that done, now it's time to drill out these 3 holes for your mount and the harness. Alright, so get your harness run, tapped in your cigarette lighter. Probably a good idea now to go ahead and check the power on your USB outlet just to make sure you have a good connection. And you just do that by connecting the positive and negative leads. Do it loosely at this time because these little connectors are really tough to get off. Once you put them on, they're really good. And just go ahead at this time, turn your key on, plug something in, and check it out. And if that's good to go, then you can continue on. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to install our top mount using the 2 8/32 screws and these little number 8 Starlock nuts on the bottom. Just be careful because it's a very tight area. You don't want to hold your finger on there while you thread in the screw. We will send a couple extra in case you lose one, but try not to lose it. Another trick with these things is you can take a wrench and just tape a little nut on the wrench to help you assist in getting this thing started. It's a pretty nifty little trick. After you got this guy mounted, we can go ahead and reinstall everything. Remove down here your USB panel, cigarette lighter panel, and at this time only put in your 2 lower screws. Alright, now you've got your radio back in, 2 lower screws. You can go ahead and put your spacers in the little notches. And we're going to feed in the inner support bracket. And what you're going to do is take it like this and just tilt it in, and you're going to lift up on the mount a little bit to get it the rest of the way in. Like that. And go ahead and install your 2 upper radio screws. Go ahead and snug those up. Once you have that in there, we're going to put in 2 8/32 counter screws in this location and this location. You're going to take your awl and line up the holes because it's going to have some tension on it. Just started a few threads initially, and you're going to want to do the same thing over here. Make sure you're starting this by hand so that you're not stripping the threaded inserts out. Once you get them both started, you can go ahead and tighten them up. And that's going to bring everything together. Now you got that done, you can go ahead and put on your radio bezel back on. Snap it back in place, and now we'll go ahead and install our USB cover. Now we're going to go ahead and install our USB panel. You can permanently connect your wires now. And tuck these wires in here. It's going to be a tight fit. And using 2 10/32 screws in these slotted holes, Alright, now that you got your USB panel on, we're going to go ahead and do the final step, which is install this Ram Tough Track on the top using the pre-threaded holes. And you're going to go ahead and start 7 8/32 pan head screws. Just get them all started before you fully tighten it up. Alright, once you get them all started, go ahead and tighten them up. And that's pretty much it. It's fully installed. Just things to note: these pre-threaded holes for Ram mounts or amps pattern diamond mounts, they're threaded 10/32, and this track accepts track balls or our new track adapter plate, which will allow you to use the amps pattern balls on your track. And you got a USB outlet, and you're all set. Install all your gadgets and hit the road.